Thank you guys for letting me come pee in your pod.
Whoa. This isn't 2 peas in a urinal cake.
Fair enough.
This is... I'm Derek.
And I'm Jared, and this is 2 Peas and a Pod.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. Nothing crazy's happened in the last 24 hours, so I'm doing all right.
Nothing crazy.
No, just another day.
So, I'm not a person that dreams a whole lot.
Yeah.
But last night, I was up kind of late watching some news, nothing special.
Yeah.
And I kind of started having this crazy dream that in the middle of the night, I woke up and I was like, I think Kamala Harris is the president and won the election. And then I woke up and checked my phone. Boy, was I wrong. I was like having PTSD from 2020 when I was like, went to bed, Trump was winning, wake up, and it's Robin Joseph Biden for president.
Yeah, I think the election was last night, and I think the Republicans
did that happen?
Took the presidency.
I think they took a lot.
And they took the Senate.
Gained some seats as it stands. I do want to keep saying as it stands because looks like Arizona and Pennsylvania are still.
Yeah, but I think they've netted potential. 3 already. Right?
Yes, correct.
So that's 3 for sure.
But and actually Pennsylvania, I don't know if Pennsylvania was previously red or blue. I know Arizona was for sure blue.
For the presidency or for the Senate?
For the Senate.
That sounds right. I was going to say for sure the presidency, he won 5 out of the 7 swing states last night. I think it was 5.
Really?
Yeah, he won Wisconsin, Michigan, Philadelphia, and Georgia, and North Carolina, which are all swing states. That's what I said.
Pennsylvania swinger? Oh, you did.
That's what I said.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, he won. And he won Nevada, so that's 6 out of the 7 swing states he won.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the popular vote, he is winning the popular vote. Not all votes are in, but he has a sizable lead of 5 million votes, I think is where we're at with it.
Yeah,
5 million?
Yeah, a little under 5, but pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
He did, like I said, though, not the most popular president of all time. Robin Joseph Biden did get 81 million votes, which was like 15 million more than anybody ever got priorly. So, you take that one off the board. Yeah, he beat Obama. Yes, he beat who happened before Biden? He beat himself.
The president?
George W.
Biden?
Bush.
I think
that was...
Yeah, I think Bush, and then it was Biden.
Yeah.
Because, not Biden, sorry. Bush, then Obama. My bad.
Bush, then Obama, yeah.
Yeah.
When Bush was president, we were younglings. Didn't care about politics so much.
That was the first president I remember knowing. Knowing, that's the president. Yeah. So.
I was alive during Clinton, but we weren't around when he got impeacched. Well, did he get? No, he didn't get impeached, did he? He stepped out.
He was impeached and then exonerated. He wasn't, no. I don't think that's right. Hold on.
Better update us.
He either stepped, like you said, stepped down, or he was exonerated. No.
Okay.
What happened?
Whoa.
Yeah, he was acquitted. So Clinton was acquitted. Yeah. So he won and then not exonerated. Acquitted is what they call it. Acquitted.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. But I mean, I guess you can do what you want in the White House or something like that. Allegedly,
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, just like allegedly the glove didn't fit. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So.
Correct. So, what was your take? I mean, were you, did you watch it all last night?
I watched until about 11:30-ish. But I'd say around 9-10 o'clock, I was pretty confident that he was going to pull these swing states he needed. They said he had to win Philadelphia and like one other swing state to get majority. And then I saw like Wisconsin turn red as a probability. North Carolina stayed red. Georgia stayed red, and at that point, I was like, I have a feeling that it's gonna hold. And then I woke up at like 3 a.m. and checked the map, and I saw 276, and I was like, all right, well, that sounds that right. So that's kind of
Yep,
where I was at.
exactly. That's what happened to me too. I kind of like I said though, it was kind of crazy. I was like fell asleep kind of watching the stuff, and so I think that is actually why I actually had a dream about it per se, and I was
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, no way she won. She didn't have a chance.
Mm.
And
Oh,
all of a
that's funny.
sudden, I like wake up at like 6:30, and I was like, nice. Yeah, I'm not gonna be. I am definitely biased. I am definitely red, through and
Yeah.
through. I think again though, to anybody that thinks like I'm a dude, I couldn't even watch him on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
Listening to him talk, Donald Trump, was so rough. It was like, can you answer the question? 25 minutes in, we haven't answered the first question that
Right.
Joe has asked you. You're such a storyteller. Stick on track. Be concise.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what I said is I feel like life was better in 2016 to 2020. I felt like policies went well. I think he's now experienced what it's like to be a politician. And boy, I look at that cabinet he's put together: Vivek Ramaswamy, JD Vance. He's got Tulsi Gabbard. Elon Musk is somehow going to play a role in this. RFK Jr. Like, if people are, it's so funny because I heard a guy on Amazon last night say that picking cabinet members is now a partisan endeavor. Tulsi Gabbard, been a Democrat out of Hawaii her entire life. RFK Jr., lifetime Democrat. Family is rooted in being a Democrat. Elon Musk, lifetime Democrat.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? This is a nonpartisan cabinet he's looking to put together. So,
right.
how many Republicans were supposed to be in Kamala's?
I didn't even look at any of
You
that,
know what her
honestly.
name is. Yeah.
Oh, Kamala Harris.
Kamala? I feel like you're saying that, put too much emphasis on
Kamala. It's just
Kamala
that's
Harris?
it. That's it. You got it.
Hmm.
She
I don't know,
probably
it's a tough
she probably
name.
does what I do, and she's like, "Yep, sounds good."
Yeah.
Kamala.
When
Yeah,
people
sounds
say
good.
Jared,
Nice to meet you.
how do people mispronounce Jared?
Jacob, Jared.
So they just say different
Jareed.
names. I mean, I
Oh,
get
yeah.
called Eric and Garrett a lot.
You look like an Eric.
Yeah, but I was watching. There's this movie called Monsters vs. Aliens.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend, who's a total douchebag, his name's Derek. And
Yeah,
my daughter will
seems
be
like
like,
it.
"That's your name, Dad. That's Derek's mean." I was like, a lot of people think Derek's are douchebags. Let me tell you, it's
fits,
kind of,
man.
Derek is like the Karen of men's names. I'm not gonna lie.
The carrot.
Karen.
Oh, I thought you said
Yes.
carrot. I was like,
Yes.
what?
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, I remember a comedian does a bit about it. He's like, everybody knows at least one Derek, and they're always a douchebag.
I mean, case in point. So, no, but when I was watching yesterday, they did point out that in no county and in no state did Kamala Harris lead by greater than a 3% difference from 2020, 2020, which was insane because Trump was beating averages because they always looked against last year against what the thought or the projection was, and they went even back to like Clinton and Trump, and every single thing they pulled up, Trump was pretty much outperforming his last numbers. So that's part of the reason why. But one of the stats was she was never leading by more than 3% better than the last election in any county.
Yeah. Another crazy metric I believe was that they said the Republicans have never been so close. I don't think they beat Democrats in early voting, but they did this time. Or they were close. Sorry, they didn't beat them, but they were very close.
It was more 50-50. So
closer than it's ever been. It's not even remotely close in the fact of how close this was. Yeah, it's something that Republicans usually turn out day of. So thought that was pretty interesting. But
I'm
yeah,
trying
dude,
to see.
I watched the Amazon thing on it. I don't know what you were watching for news, but
I
Amazon
did.
had a kind
I
of like a nonpartisan, although it was very partisan. Like we have this nonpartisan, very partisan panel where I'm going to call Donald Trump a racist, rapist, degenerate right here, and it's like you look like you touch children. Like shut up. Like you have he,
you
he
look
had
like you
that
touched it.
he looks like he plays pedophiles in movies. Like either he plays pedophiles in movies and he doesn't have to act very much, or you know what I mean. Like maybe
Yeah.
my mental was just on that, but this
Yeah.
dude was going on this rant about it. I was like, I don't really care to take moral hierarchy advice from
You.
you, bud. Even though I
I was
don't
trying
know
to.
anything about you.
I was trying to find the stat of like how many voters voted versus this year last year. I'm sure it's not out because technically the counting
Yeah,
isn't
it's
done.
not fully in. Yeah, I think
But
California is not going to be in until Thanksgiving. Like that's usually when they finish up.
yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
But so what I look so one of the stats was that Hispanic voters for Trump support were up 14% points from 2020. 18 to 29-year-olds were up 7 points, and 2/3 of the 2/3 of the voters considered the U.S. economy in poor shape. So I think like yeah, they had a lot of different topics, but the biggest concern was the economy, and I think people were just sick of like the status quo. Like
Yeah.
the economy's been kind of shit for what 3 years now. I mean,
Hmm.
realistically, and people were like, it wasn't like this, or So I think that's part of the reason why they gained so many extra voters.
And I don't even know that that's a Trump win as much as people trust the Republic. Like if you look at
Right,
polar data on the Republican Party, they're more trusted with the economy than the Democratic
right,
Party is.
right,
Like,
right.
so that's kind of like almost a red issue that he wins on there, where most people already align that way. But again, he is a suave businessman, and everybody is always coming. You know, the big thing that I'll be curious to find out, I do think that there's a misunderstanding on what a tariff is by a lot of people.
Yeah,
Trump is going to institute tariffs, and he said 100% tariffs on China, and he says China is going to pay those. I think there are a lot of people that are a little miseducated on this, and they actually think that China will pay to sell products here, and that's not exactly how it works. If China charges $2 for something, it'll be taxed $2 as it comes in by the person looking to sell it. So like for instance, if Target decides to sell a $2 Pez that comes from China, they will have like automatically they're going to pay $4 to have it on their shelves. So they're then going to mark that up whatever percentage they like to make. And so maybe it goes on their shelf for $5 or $6.
right.
Like it's not China makes it for $2, charges us $2 and we charge China an extra $2. No, they just
Right.
don't. But the
tariff
issue
makes
is
the company that's selling the products coming from overseas pay a percentage of the total dollar amount of that product coming in.
import cost. Yes,
Correct.
the cost of the
Import
money
cost, yes.
that they're being charged to do
Right.
to import it. Exactly.
So if the
They
bill of
gotta
lading
provide receipts.
comes
Yes.
in and says there's $7 million worth of product on or this shipment, they have
Coming from China.
to pay coming from China. The people that ordered that product will have to pay 100%, he said. So they'll have to pay $14 million to have them release those goods or products.
7 to China, 7 to the American government.
Yep.
So, and
what's going to happen is obviously people are upset that we're building products overseas and it's costing us less, right? So it's cheaper. You're going to see those things that are imported be more expensive to pay for the
Correct.
tariffs that is set there. So then the made in the U.S. products are going to be just as cheap or expensive as that coming from China, which means suppliers are going to push inward towards the U.S. to keep it local, so they're not having to charge so much extra or pay so much in taxes. And then, therefore, you create more jobs, you create more business, you stimulate the economy. Is the goal? Is what it's causing it to look like in a model, whatnot.
Yeah. Now, economists will say that doesn't work, and I can agree that there's probably components of it that have caused recession-like symptoms to happen. But like you said, that's the pro, is that it creates jobs here, not jobs elsewhere.
Right.
So,
and just think about it, right? Like we're talking on a global scale. So yes, China's being taxed this. He may put tariffs on other countries as well. But if you think about the vast quantity, even if it even if in the system, right, economists say that model doesn't work, even if it works 50% or 20% of the time, that's still a lot of money and a lot of product that would stay local. I think people don't understand the sheer amount of goods that shipped every day across seas. It's billions of dollars.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, remember when that tanker? Remember when that not a tanker, but it was like a cargo ship that got like rolled over in that canal. It like disrupted product globally for like a month. It took them to get it out of there. It was just kind of ridiculous.
Right.
But he even said there, China was building a huge automobile manufacturing shop in Mexico. Yep. And he said that if you build that, I will put a tariff on cars coming from Mexico produced by China. I will 4x their tariffs. And you won't be able to sell one for less than 70,000, and it's supposed to be an economy car. So good luck with that.
Yeah. So that's tariffs. That's a nice economics lesson for everybody.
But okay, so economics, apparently, according to all economists, really bad that Donald Trump took power for the economy. But the stock market says otherwise today, because that thing is skyrocketing.
That's booming, dude.
Yes, and not saying the stock market is the greatest barometer, because to be honest, I think during Robin's term here, he had like one of the highest S&P 500s. I believe that broke a record, but we would assume that. The problem is not the S&P growing, it's where does it grow relative to inflation? And I think that was his biggest issue that he was dealing with. Yes, the S&P 500 was growing at X a rate, but inflation was surmounting over top of what it was growing. And so every dollar that was invested technically lost its value because inflation overcapped it.
Was outperforming,
Yeah. But you also have like Bitcoin. Trump said we're gonna mine all the coins, which is hilarious. I think that just as somebody that's a little bit familiar with Bitcoin, we're gonna mine all the coins. Oh, we're gonna mine them all. We're gonna get all the coins out of the Bitcoin. It's just the way he said it is just hilarious. But Bitcoin broke an all-time high today, and it could potentially hit as high as 100,000. Also, no, none of this is financial advice. We're not telling you to go jump into the stock market today. Everything, day after election could always be a really like
a fluke,
volatile kind of day. Like things could definitely course correct tomorrow. Then it continues to go. Yeah, I think again, red president, that tends to be a positive thing, but when you make comments like that, you have to remember everything that's a comment based on trends, not true exacting data. Like anything could technically still happen.
Right.
So I can't see the future. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah. All I know is I'm happy right now. Even if it dips a little, I'm happy right now where my stuff's at. So looking to capitalize on that a little bit, but maybe retire even earlier. I always said 55. Maybe it's now 52. You never know.
There you go. What's going to be the point though that you're like partially retired? You know what I mean? Like there's people that as they get closer to retirement, they kind
I think 55 would be. I think 55 is where I par retire. You know what I mean? 50, 55 is where I par retire.
Yeah, because you don't want to have to get like Cobra healthcare or something.
As soon as I can withdraw from my 401k, I'm out. I'm out. 67, done. Fully. I'll golf
66
every day.
and a half, right?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Why that number? Why 65? Why 66 and a half?
Right, just round up or round down. I don't care which.
Yeah.
Round up or round down.
Isn't Trump changing the age though? That is one thing that I'm not entirely positive that I love.
Is he going back up?
Like,
is it going up?
I think it's going up. Yeah, he wants to raise it, which
I'm
not a huge fan of. Our
parents can retire at what, 62 and some 63, or are they already at 65? I don't know,
66 and a half, I think.
Yeah, but no, like if the previous generation of ours has a lower retirement age.
Oh, I wouldn't know. Go ahead, look that up. I would just say though,
what you were talking about.
Yeah, the only thing I just have to say about that is I feel like people already work a massive portion of their lives. Now, here's the benefit of that, is that I think a lot of people get to the end of their lives and have a lot of life left and not enough money. And I think that gets people. But what I'll just say is that, like, this concept of, like, I like where your mind's at. Like, I want to retire at 55. Like, I think that we should want to be retired when there's a lot of money left in the bank. or a
Yeah.
lot of life,
Left.
and not
Yeah.
quality of life. Quality of life. Let's not retire when we're on our deathbed. Like, I think that's kind of
I mean,
a
there's
shame.
people I know that are 70 some years old still working. Working like 30 hours a week.
Yeah, and retirement's kind of a death penalty, I think, in some regards, because you tend to be less active, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people like kind of that purpose, and I'm okay with that too. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that, but I think kind of raising the gap where you're like almost forced into it, that's what I don't like. I think allowing people the out when they want to get out, and having that, I think 66 and a half is perfectly fine and acceptable as it stands. I just don't know about going up with it. That would be my take. I do think that, again, probably the purpose behind that is to reduce the overall Medicare burden on the taxpayers. I think is probably the purpose behind that. But anyway, what did you find out?
So Social Security is a little different than 401k. So let's go over it. So for full retirement age of Social Security, if you were born 1990 or start 1960 or later, it's 67. 1955 to 1959, it's 66 years and 2 months. For 1943 to 1954, it's 66, and 1938 or earlier was 65.
So we're 67.
Yeah, 100%. And then 401k, you can withdraw your money before the age of 59 and a half, usually results in a 10% penalty plus taxes. Rule of 55, we know that rule.
So 60, you're out.
Yeah, 60 done. Done. Just see you, alligator. Yeah, 60 I'm out. Dunzo.
But Medicare doesn't kick in until you're 65, though.
Yeah.
So you got 5 years of Cobra, which is like...
I'll probably just stay, I'll do something
like
part-time.
$15K.
I'll just stay part-time, I guess. That's fine. I will tell you, though, as we talked about, I think before, if you aren't donating your max contribution match from your company to 401k right now, you're not a smart person. You should become a smart person, and it's super easy. Just up your percentage.
Yeah, like if they'll match 6%, then do 6%. If they'll match 3%, then do 3%. Because you literally, I'm investing 3, I'm getting 3, so therefore I'm investing 6. Like, you're literally doubling your money. And I think based on a lot of the, they say 10 is like what you should put in, but then companies, again, will only do up to 3 or up to 6 or something like that. So you're technically contributing 16% of your bank account to your future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say even so, though, I've done the math on that. It feels like a lot when you're sitting at the end with $2-3 million or something like that. But what's $2-3 million in 40 years?
A lot of money. Hopefully.
Yeah.
More often than not, yes.
Yeah.
It's worth more. A whole lot more. Because there's also this cool thing called compounding interest, which we'll save that for another lesson.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying you have at the end of 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
And it's just you take that, you divide it by the number of years you have left, and that's what you get to spend each year. And sometimes it's about what you've made your whole life. It's just that hopefully now you've paid off your property, which, hey, there are states like South Dakota, for instance, where you and I grew up, that literally don't charge you property taxes if you're retired.
I need to move back to South Dakota, man.
Dude, that is where I'm going to retire. That is where I will be retiring.
I'll just buy a random house. Side note, and this is also something I want to touch base on because I think it's wild since we're already on the topic, is the amount of backdoor, shady, legal stuff you can do when it comes to investment accounts. So, for case in point, can I retire at 55 and get 401k? You can withdraw money from your workplace retirement plan, such as 401k or 403b, if you're 55 years or older and you leave your job in that year. You won't be penalized for early withdrawal. So it's like, you know what I mean? But technically, you can't retire. You can't do it till you're 60. But if this stigma or this thing happens, you're good. So, just like you can technically always contribute to a Roth IRA, you never actually make too much money.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Just crazy.
There's a lot of, let's call them loopholes but I don't
Yeah.
even know that they're loopholes necessarily. There is a lot of benefits out there, free benefits or benefits that will greatly help you. I mean, that's why it's a
Yeah.
benefit
Yeah.
that a lot of people miss out on because they're just not well versed. And like
Right.
you gotta be looking for that stuff. I don't know if it was Warren Buffett or somebody, but they said and I'm probably gonna butcher this a little bit, but they said if you're born poor, we get it. There's nothing you could do about it. But if you die poor, well, that's on you.
I
You know
mean,
what I
to an
mean?
extent, yeah, I get it. I mean, well,
You're here in
realistically,
America,
yeah,
man. You're here in
yeah,
America. I
yeah,
mean, dude, you know how many panhandlers? And I'm not saying that panhandling, I'm not like that's a job, but like
yeah. There's a whole
we
study on it, dude. Oh, sorry, finish. Go ahead and finish. I know what you're saying, though.
well, no, but I mean, like we got people that they're giving away slushies. First off, me and my wife are like, no way am I taking a slushie from somebody on the side of the road. Okay,
Dude, just one of you do it, and the other one watch that one for a while.
yeah, no, probably got fentanyl in it. Um,
Nah, could be
or
worse.
like, or flowers, or one of the best hustles I saw was this dude sitting outside of CVS with a cooler and bottles of water, and he was selling them for like $2, and it was a
Yeah,
really hot day, and it's like
yeah,
that's so smart. That's so smart. Gary Vee talks about going to garage sales if you have an eye for it, and like buying something for like 50 cents and then turning around and putting it on eBay for like $5-6. And
hmm
then that's like your hustle. And like he's got testimonials of people that have posted like, oh, I've made like $110,000 this year doing that. But a lot of people just try to make as little as like $5,000-6,000 or maybe like 10% of
yeah.
their current income or something like that, you know?
The thing with that is like you got to spend a lot of time taking a picture, reposting, selling, shipping, all that. Like I mean, so I couldn't hustle like that.
For
That's a
sure.
lot
But
of work.
it is a lot of work. But the thing is if you're broke and got no income,
Right, right.
there's
I
way
get
like
it.
you got time on your hands.
Yeah,
Like if you ain't got no
yeah,
job.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's
Good
no
way to make
way you
passive
can tell
income,
me
I guess.
yeah, there's no way you can tell me that there's not a way for you to make some money or you're not making enough money. Like, oh, you got a job, get a second job. And I know that sucks. I think I'm very thankful that I've always pretty much only had one job, but that's because I got into the workforce when I was 21 and I had no overhead in life, right? And then from there, I took what was a small opportunity of
Uh
asking,
oh.
like, waiting tables, and
Like
I
a
turned it
small
into
loan from your father for $1 million.
yeah, yeah, small loan. But again, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
people will say, "Oh, we can't all get a small loan." No, but he did do something with it. You can't say he didn't. And when people say, "Oh, he's bankrupted his company multiple times," that's one of those benefits that I'm talking about.
yeah,
Okay? At the end of the day, there's a way to game the system, and if you know how to game the system, you're going to make a lot of money. That's
yeah.
not their fault. That's the system's fault. I met a
I
guy
think
one time that said,
people.
"You tell me the rules, I'll tell you how to make money." You know what I
I
mean?
uh I think what people don't understand is how many people fail at businesses multiple times and how many failed businesses do happen literally
Mhm.
every day. Like people that live in Sioux Falls, there's a lot of them that are like, yeah, there's a new shop downtown, like multiple shops that open and close throughout the year because they just can't make enough money or they can't sustain it. I mean, it
Yeah.
happens, and if you have a lot of money, you're trying to make a lot of money, and sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah. Restaurants, I believe it's 1 in 10 restaurants make it out of the first year, and 1 in 3 of those restaurants make it to 5.
Yeah.
So you have a 1 in 30 shot of making
Yep.
it 5 years as a restaurant. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
terrible odds.
Yeah.
And then on
Yeah.
top of that, they don't make much money. They make like 3, 4, 5%. And that's again,
Mm,
that's business profit. That's business
right.
profit. So like if you're raking in a mill, that's $50,000 in business profit. So what are you going to do? You're going to feed your family with that? Oh, no, you have to reinvest that.
But I think they go a lot off I mean, it has to turn into a lot of just volume, right?
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
You
You
know,
have to
you
have
gotta put
high
yeah,
value.
yeah.
But like $1 million, like would you say that's a small business doing $1 million in a year?
There's I think $1 million right now is not as outlandish as it would have been when he got it, is what I would say. Right? When he
No, but I'm
received
saying
it,
that's revenue. That's revenue.
what?
The $1 million is revenue. That's what I'm talking about. That's dollars being spent at your facility. You're only going to turn 5% of that, and that's good.
Right. But
5% solid.
what I'm saying is if we talk about $1 million today, that's not as big as
Oh
it
yeah, yeah.
was when
Back
Trump
when.
when he got that $1 million back then. That was a lot of effing money.
But how much is he worth now?
No,
Is it
I'm just
millions or
saying.
billions?
I'm just saying. He called it a small loan. Back then, it wasn't. It wasn't a small loan at all.
No, I get that.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I
I
mean?
think it's
So,
hilarious. I agree.
yeah.
I agree. I think that's hilarious.
And I think it talks about stuff we talked about in the past, where like they've been doing this for so long, they forget what it's like to not be that, right? Like they forget that $1 million is a lot of money to most people, but if I'm worth billions, $1 million ain't nothing.
Yeah,
And
true.
and I think that it's just how not quick, but they get so detached. And we talk about with people,
Yep.
higher ups at jobs and corporate levels or just different things. You
What
just
was
don't.
Musk
You're
giving
used.
away for registering?
What?
What was Musk giving away for people that registered to vote? Was it $1 million or was it 100,000?
Where?
Just in states. He was just going around and he was asking, "Are you registered? You are? Are you planning on voting? You are? Sweet. Here's $100,000." That was it. A lot of people are saying he was buying votes.
Oh,
He didn't
shit.
ask who they were voting for. It's a huge controversy, bro.
Yeah, Elon Musk, 1 million a day voter sweepstakes can proceed. The judge warns him that, or the judge allows it.
Yeah, because he was. They have tons of videos and people are like, "This is election manipulation," and all he was doing was saying, if you're registered to vote and you plan to vote, you're able to win this. It's not you're registered to vote as a X and you plan to vote for who.
Yeah.
It was just, or are you registered and do you plan to vote?
I didn't hear about
you
that.
are? Cool. $1 million.
He gave away the first million on October 19th. So he's been doing this for
he gave away like $25 million.
Yeah. Like just they have no concept of what it's like to be in the real world, man.
Well, I mean,
no. So far, Musk has given away nearly 120 million to the American ape. Oh, that's something different. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
They're talking about random stuff. I was like, what? No, but it's they were talking about some, I don't know, some other what did it say? Hold on. It keeps loading random stuff.
I think you're not sharing your screen. We don't want to see what it's randomly.
Yeah,
you got pop-ups on, huh?
Yeah, so he's been giving randomly selected people who sign a petition pledging to support for free speech and gun rights. Is what he's been.
Those are kind of, but
it's. I don't even think it was a for voting. It says it's been giving.
But I think you had to be registered to vote.
Yeah. The limit is offered to registered voters in one of the 7 states and likely decide the outcome of it. So he did it in swing states.
Swing states. They had to be registered to vote, and they had to sign a petition.
Free speech and guns. A petition pledging support for free speech and gun rights. So he wasn't targeting for red voters at all, but he was targeting red voters.
Okay.
I didn't say it, but like
that's a little something there. A little something.
But
yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. When you're talking about a small loan for $1 million, here you go. Just Elon's just gonna give you it.
Yeah, there
loan.
it is.
You don't have to get the money back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for being an educated voter or a voter, whatever.
Just a voter in general. We're just happy that you did it.
Yeah. Well, Derek, I believe the puppies want to go outside, don't you, buddy?
Yeah, I've been hearing them this whole time.
I know. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Anyways, until next time.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Jared, and this is 2 Peas and a Pod.
Peace.